And if you're actually confident in your skill set and what you can do, you'll do it for free because you'll become indispensable to the person you want to do business with, and then they can't lose you.
Yeah.
I mean, something has to go really wrong for you to actually know who you can trust and who is actually 100%. On your team. When you don't have your natural hormones where they should be and your testosterone levels are low, you are suffering from motivation 24/7. You have no natural drive.
Yeah.
Fix that.
Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it.
What's up, guys? Luis here. Welcome back to another episode of Winners Only, where we talk to people who are winning at life, business, whatever the case may be. Today we have on Justin Freishtat.
Don't even try.
How do you say it?
It's Freishtat.
Freishtat. What is that? German?
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm like American with a weird. I should change the last name. It's just not very brandable.
Yeah, Freishtat. People are not gonna be able to say that. But I mean, just go Justin F.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Maybe use my middle name.
Yeah,
Evan.
Yeah,
like just Justin Evan.
The funny thing is, my partner in this company, he changed his last name because it was easier to brand and dad issues. But but he was like, oh, that's just such a harder last name to brand, and he went with the Galindo thing. But it was cool hearing that story. So you could do that.
Yeah, I don't want to piss my family off. They're gonna be like, right. You abandoned us.
Yeah. They'll be mad for like a few months and then they'll get over it. Yeah. But so I don't really know Justin. We met. He was on a podcast my old studio. He was getting hosted by one of my friends and seemed like a cool guy. So I'm just gonna kind of go from the ground up. I don't know you at all. Like we don't. All
it's
I know
better
is
this way.
Yeah. All I know is you recently moved to Summerlin, which I thought was cool because you're kind of hopping around. And me and my wife were kind of similar and like. We moved here and we didn't want to buy right away. We're like, let's just try different parts of the city. Yeah. So we moved. We lived on the east side, and then we went down to Henderson, and then now we're here in Summerlin. Mm-hmm. So yeah, kind of same and like new to Vegas. Where are you originally from?
DC, like right outside of Maryland.
DC. Okay, so East Coast. Yeah, I'm one of the California transplants that sometimes I'm hesitant to say that because they like look at you a certain way here if you're from California. But so
it's those license plates driving around.
Yeah,
in the left lane going the speed limit.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. They don't know how to like drive to our culture, but I think I've accustomed to here now. I feel like I'm getting respected as a Vegas guy now. Yeah, so it's good. It'll be all right. But tell me a little bit about what you do now, and then because obviously from what I'm aware is like you work with I don't know, I forgot his name, Kearns.
Yeah, Cody.
Kearns.
Yeah.
So I remember. So I don't know Cody, but we were in the same. We talked about it. Same Amazon space, Amazon automation back in the day, back when it was working.
A lot of people were.
Yeah. So I remember like you were. I would see him posting, and then I saw like the Kearns Capital, and then I saw you were in Vegas. Started posting, and then long story short, I met you at that studio.
Yep.
But how did you get into private equity? Because that's something I don't think I've had any private equity guys in here. It's always the real estate investors that I have just because of where I'm at. Yeah. So I'm interested to know like what does that look like? How do you even like kind of interject yourself into that space?
It's funny the terminology, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're doing private real estate deals, you're in private equity. It's just
really okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's just equity in this, right? People usually use the term private equity if you're getting an interest in a company, right? A private company, or in real estate they call it a syndication. But if it's trading, it's a hedge fund.
Yeah.
Right? But it's all really the same thing. It's private placement investing, and we can call it whatever we want. But yeah, so private equity for us could mean a small joint venture, like the one we're doing right now with an aerospace company where we're doing a $4 million deal. That's actually very small.
Yeah.
Or it could be we're raising late stage private equity for something like SpaceX or Flexport we did earlier this year.
Okay.
$5 billion companies and up.
So I think I might be in private equity.
You are?
Because I'm investing in an ice cream shop in La Jolla, and I gave him some money. I get 20% of the company. So am I in private equity?
You just did a private equity deal.
Wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. I just thought it was like, a silent investor or whatever. But did you always do so? One of the reasons I call the podcast Winners Only is because I feel like to get to the point where you're winning at business or life, you have to fail a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I've failed. The last studio we were at, that was a failed business that was behind it. And this year has been probably, to be very upfront, one of my worst years. Like I'm probably going to be in the hole 200 or 300K this year, but luckily the 3 or 4 years before that, I set myself up to be able to lose that and be okay. But this is kind of like a pivotal moment for me where I'm like, yo, like shit didn't go well. Let me pivot into this new company, and so far so good. Yeah. But what are some of, and some people don't want to talk about it, which we don't have to.
Oh no, we'll get into it because this has been the best and worst year of my life at the same time.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess when you first got into business, I don't know if I think I remember hearing you say it was family got you into business.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that. So like, what were the kind of like the initial losses and lessons that you had to take that now you can apply to what you're doing today? Because I'm very in the middle of these muddy waters right now.
Yeah, I mean, the initial losses were more so just not knowing who I was, right?
Yeah.
When you're starting from zero, it's a different type of loss than when you gain something and then retreat, which is what you experienced this year, which I experienced this year in a big way, which we'll get to that in a second. But, you know, getting into business was just watching my dad do it growing up, right? But I watched his highs and lows, which was incredible to watch because he was a guy that made millions and millions of dollars in the 90s, right? Which would be like a lot more today. Right? And then had major setbacks, lost it all, and rebuilt it again, right? These resilient.
So you saw these highs and lows.
Yeah. So what you're going through right now, it's kind of, you know, when I talk to people about this, my dad, other people way ahead in the journey, you know, they're like, welcome to the game. Like we've all been through it.
Yeah.
Like you're just not, it's an indication that you're going to a higher level. Actually. Right. And that's an indication for me in our last business that we weren't going far enough, fast enough, because it took us 15 years to build a company that we could sell to a private equity firm, you know?
Yeah. See, that's where it's like, even just hearing you speak in those time frames, to me, it's like a lot, because I'm still so new to the business world, to be honest. Like, I didn't get into anything until 2018. Like, I went to college, then did the military thing, and then I hated the military, and then I was like, fuck, how do I make money? So then I figured it out, and that's how I found Amazon and all that. But it's like, hearing you just say that, like, it took us 15 years. I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up. You're being a bitch. Like,
right, but it doesn't feel like that when you're going through it.
Yeah, it's like you said, like I which maybe it's like a curse and a blessing. Is like my first 2 years in business was like, boom, the internet's printing money. And then I'm like, luckily, I think, and I credit myself to it, I wasn't one of the guys who went and blew it all. And like didn't buy the Lambo, I like bought a bunch of rentals, so now I can live off the rentals and live off of whatever I've built. But that was like, I saw a lot of guys that just like me got the highs, fucking thought they were on their shit, spent it all, and now they got nothing, and now they're going through this and they can't ride out the lows because it's just like they didn't set themselves up.
I did the exact same thing when we sold that business. I took the entire proceeds and put it all into investments. All into real estate, a lot of multifamily. And that was really my first experiences with being in the hedge fund world, being an LP in other people's funds. But man, then I get into the hedge fund world on the GP side, and we went 0 to 20 million out the gate. We had a same kind of thing with ecom, right? It was working until the terms and conditions changed, and then you couldn't do it anymore, right? And then you see these businesses, a lot of people got hurt, right? To no fault of the people doing the business, but you still have to take all the blame. Everyone blames you. And
we're the bad guys for sure. Like,
it's just a rite of passage, right? And it's not fun when people are writing bad shit about you on the internet. And you hit a different level of thick skin if you can survive something like that. You know?
No, like even like getting the first lawsuit, I was like, oh fuck, this is real.
Right. I experienced my first lawsuit this year. Fortunately, I was on the right side.
The right
of it.
side, yeah.
But
I mean, that's what contracts are for. I think people knew the risks, and it's funny because they were all happy until they weren't, right?
Isn't it funny?
That's where I'm just like, it just
you know what the great lesson about this is, though? I'm sure this has revealed itself to you in many ways. Something has to go really wrong for you to actually know who you can trust. And who is actually 100%. On your team. Who can weather a storm, and you will just see people totally flip the second it goes wrong. They're your best friend when we're winning together.
Dude, I just had like that experience, like, was it like end of last summer? Is like I got into top of the real estate market. I bought 2 flips with a partner, and we were all buddy, you know, we're good. As soon as shit fucking was going south, he's like, oh, I can't lose the money on this deal. Like, you went over budget. And I was like, dude, look at the market. Like, it's just what happens. We have to take the L. Let's just fucking go. Like, but some people, I feel like I'm blessed in saying that I've been okay with taking L's. And it's like, I think I understand it's just part of the fucking game. And so many people can't accept
You have a level head about the risk up front. Like, that's the problem. The disconnect happens when somebody wants all the rewards and none of the risk.
It's just doesn't
that's
make
unacceptable.
Any sense.
That, to me, your mental child. That's what I've seen is people turn into children. You know, over money.
But the thing is, like, maybe it's obviously because I am mental, or like I understood the risk, but like I don't understand how you didn't see that. Like, you just thought it was gonna always be good. Like, sorry, you just like triggered a thought from like months ago with this dude. But I mean, it's funny because we were like freaking best friends, and then we ended up getting into business, and then that literally broke up the friendship. Now we don't talk at all. But it's just like, that just goes like just because you're good friends doesn't mean you can do business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing, you got to look at the positives that come out of this, right? Look at how resiliently you're bouncing back out of business. Same thing with us.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a big correction in our first fund. We were crushing it. Big correction. There's something called a high water mark in a hedge fund, which means that the GPs, us, we don't get to make any money until we go over the high water mark. So for 6 months, we've been fighting for a fund that we can't even make money off of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now your integrity comes into play. You really find out who the GPs are. Right.
Yeah.
And it's been an experience because my partners are just rock solid. I know now that we have a team. No matter what happens, we can get through anything.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing you once. Sorry, I'm going to keep referencing back because I got to see you talk with another person. So I'm going to reference a lot of things you talked about. One of the things that you talked about, which I recently did, and I actually took that and I did it and I replicated it at a smaller scale, is you brought Cody like a bunch of business before he even brought you on.
Yeah.
Right. And so essentially you proved your value and you showed him, hey, yo, dude, like you didn't even say bring me on, right? You brought him money and then he's like, how do I get you? Type thing. Like, can tell me about how that went? And then I'm going to tell you what I did because I remember hearing that story.
Yeah, it's value exchange, right?
Yeah.
It's been like, I think that's been one of my skill sets from the beginning is I always know where I am in the food chain.
Yeah.
And I'm very honest with myself about that, right? I know who is beneath me, who's above me. I know exactly where I am. And having that self-awareness, I don't think is a skill you can teach. And it's, to me, the most important skill you can have. It's the self-awareness in all situations. So, when you're reaching up, look, somebody like Cody, I mean, how many people do you think send him a DM and say, hey, can I have a job, right?
Yeah.
Coming out of like the food direct sales space that we were in, that was never happening to me. I didn't even have an Instagram. I wasn't a public type figure like now. Now it happens every day, and I know exactly what it was like to be him. Yeah. Right, going through it. So I was just looking at, okay, this is what everybody does. I'm gonna have to do something different. And if you're actually confident in your skill set and what you can do, you'll do it for free because you'll become indispensable to the person you want to do business with, and then they can't lose you. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, hey, check it out, ransom. You know?
Yeah. So it's funny. I heard you say that on the other podcast that I was filming. I was behind the cameras, and so I remember just marinating on that because I told you I'm new to Vegas, and I was like, how do I meet people? Podcast studio. I was like, dope people have podcasts. But long story short was me and Josh. So Josh Galindo is my partner in the media company. Josh Galindo. I don't know if you see his billboards around town. Yeah. But everybody and their mom approaches him about a business idea, right? Right. And he's like, dude, like I don't like. So I remember like he told me he was going to build a podcast studio. So I dropped the idea. I was like, hey, why don't I put my stuff there and just let it marinate for a couple weeks? And then I was like, in 2 weeks, in those 2 weeks, I drew up a business plan. I drew up a fucking like projections, and I was like, look, this is what I want to do. Can we do it? And then he's like, oh fuck, like you already did all that? And then fucking showed up. And then for the first 4 months, like while it was an idea, I just showed up every day to the office and I didn't get paid $1. I helped with everything around the building. It was cleaning, it was moving shit. I was just like, just let me put myself here. And it fucking worked. And then next thing you know, we're in fucking business together. And he's like, dude, you've been in Vegas 2 years and somehow you end up in business with like me. Like, you know how many people wanted to start a solar company, wanted to start other shit. Yeah. And somehow I just ended up here. So, I mean, that's kind of patting my own back, but I take that from you because I remember you saying that. And I was like, huh. So it's kind of cool to like kind of talk to you again. Cause I think it was 6 months ago. That was a while ago. I think it was like last summer.
Yeah, like 6 months. Yeah, that's when we were still killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, same thing with me. I moved to Vegas. I knew no one here. Yeah. Right? And it's just leaps of faith, right? Yeah. Like I can tell so many stories about what's happened I have not even been here for a year yet. It's been 8-9 months. Yeah. And I feel like I know everybody in the city now.
You've only been here 8-9 months? Yeah. Wow. That's impressive.
April last year. Yeah. April, May-ish is when we moved. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I just hit 2 years this October. So it's like 2 years and 2 months. So it's like, but still, it's like, I do feel like I know so many people now. And it's just like, and a lot of people will move here and it's like, and I don't know of anybody who said this, but I feel like a lot of people will move to a city and like, it's like the energy and like you actually trying to like foster relationships. Like when I met Josh, just for example, is like, I remember thinking, oh, I need to make this dude my friend. Like, how do I do that? Like, yeah. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, what's up or whatever. And then people just go on with their days. I was like, okay, well, let me go where this guy goes. And like, I just started showing up and then just started showing my face. Oh, what's up? Yeah. And then, yeah, it sounds a little like stalkerish, but I think it's intentionality of like the relationships that you foster. So it's like, it's cool to like look back and like see what has come from it. Cause I got to Vegas, and I didn't know anybody, so I joined a mastermind. I paid $35K to join this fucking mastermind, and I was like, okay, cool. Met a bunch of people, but I remember I met Sean Bob, which introduced me to Josh, which introduced me to this new company, and like now so it's like, yeah, that might have been. Maybe I didn't learn anything from what I paid for, but it was the relationship and the network that I paid
That's
for.
always what it is.
Yeah.
This is just a game of people and relationships.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. It's good. It makes me like, you're reassuring that what I was doing was good. It was correct. Yeah. Yeah. So you planning to stay in Vegas a while? Like what's the plan? Or why'd you choose Vegas?
Man, I don't think I'll ever leave.
Yeah.
I love it here.
I don't think I'll leave either, but like what brought you to Vegas? I know what brought me. So it's like, yeah.
I mean, I knew for a long time on the East Coast that I didn't want to live there.
Yeah.
Long time. I mean, I was there for at least the last 5 years, like just begging for a reason to leave.
Yeah.
Start with the humidity. It's just awful. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold around DC.
Yeah.
You know, in the winter it can go down to 0, in the summer it can be 100, but it's always humid. So just cold to the bone, hot. You like walk outside, you just stink. It's just, I don't do humidity.
Yeah.
I hated it. That's part of it. The traffic around the big cities. I mean, I'm sure you know, coming from California.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to dinner in DC, we lived right outside in Northern Virginia. It's like good luck, 45 minutes to an hour in traffic just to go to dinner. So you end up just staying at home. Just a miserable lifestyle, honestly. Too many people. The taxes.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I mean, the taxes would push me over.
Yeah.
That was just personal property tax on your car. You got to pay annually. You got to pay the taxes when you buy it. If you roll it to another car, you don't even get the tax like washout. Brutal.
Yeah.
There's income tax on top of it. It's just terrible. So I knew that when we were going to get out of that food company and I could go anywhere, it was going to be a zero tax state. It's going to be Texas, Florida, Nevada. My wife and I have been coming out to Vegas nonstop. All the events are here. All the networking comes to you here.
That was my thing, yeah.
Yeah, so add up the list of reasons. Small city. I mean, one end to the other is only 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. Traffic's getting worse now that the secret's out and everybody's moving here.
Dude, I mean, I've seen that in the last 2 years, just like it's gotten crazy. But I remember I was leaving. So I actually came here from Texas because I was getting out of the military. And I was like, I don't want to go back to California because I was making all the internet e-com money. So I was like, so I didn't even know about, you know, all the real estate stuff I know now, like as far as depreciation. I just like, I don't want to go there and pay taxes. So I literally moved here for taxes. And it's an hour flight to anywhere I need to go, San Diego, LA, or Sacramento. Because I'm from Sacramento, like California, but I couldn't move back to California. I was like, no, I'm good.
There's something spiritual about living here in the mountains. I don't know what it is, but the second I moved here, I never need an alarm clock.
Really?
My circadian rhythms just dialed. I get really tired when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And I'm just waking up right before the sun comes up, and I feel so energized. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. What I've wanted to do, and but where I'm living at now, it's like I wanted my next house that I buy. I want to buy it to where the window is facing where the sun rises. I've heard that like helps you a lot. I don't know if it's true, but one thing I have seen is like you're like where you just like
we're building a house right now.
Yeah.
And we're building it on the lot positioned perfectly for the sun to be on the pool all day.
yeah.
We're blackout curtains in the bedroom. Like I don't want the sun waking me up. No.
Like I've heard it's like you want the sun waking you up because it's just like natural or whatever. But I'm like at the same
you
time,
want to be awake and watching the sun.
Yeah.
With a cup of coffee. That first light's like very like red light, that red light therapy that everybody's on. You can get that naturally, that first light of the day.
Yeah. Well, have you so they say I don't know where I heard it, but like in Vegas during the winter, like the UV or the sun actually doesn't penetrate here enough to like actually get anything from the sun. I don't know how accurate that is, but maybe you seem like a biohacking dude. I saw you're like cold plunging.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree because I'm still getting a little bit of sunburn in the cold plunge every day.
Yeah,
I'm just walking my dog. Yeah. I think the sun's still pretty strong in the winter.
Okay.
It's nothing like the summer. But.
Yeah. I actually just got my cold plunge. I ordered it from China because I didn't want to spend like $7,000 on I wanted like the nice plunge, like the white one. So I got one from China and it just got here 2 days ago. So I've been using it. It's nice. I got the white one that yeah. So it was like $2,200, but I was like, I want a cold plunge. Yeah. I put it on the rooftop so I get to see the mountains while I plunge, which is cool. Yeah, it's nice. It's
view
nice.
helps.
Yeah. I don't know if I could. Do you plunge every day?
Not every day.
Not every day.
I would say 5 out of 7 though.
Okay. I was thinking. I mostly want to do it for the content because there was a guy that went from 0 to it was a few 100,000 followers because he did cold plunge every day for 365 days.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna do that starting this next year. I'm just gonna try, see if I fail. We'll see.
How long are you staying in there?
I can do like 3 minutes now, 3.5.
What temperature?
It's at 5 or 2 degrees Celsius, whatever that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like 39
Isn't it
or
like
40.
32 to 0, but it's not. It's like a sliding scale though. So
Yeah.
you're probably close to 40.
Yeah, well, I'll make it.
Which is
colder.
ideal.
Yeah.
3 minutes of 40 will get you.
Yeah, I feel like
That's
once
good.
you get past the first minute, it's fine.
It is. It's
Like people, it's just like the first
it
minute.
becomes
like,
extremely peaceful.
yeah. I even like at one point just like want to be able. One of my buddies like super just like wants to be good at shit. Did it for like 10 minutes his first time, and I'm like, how did what? And he's just like, oh.
I'll have the clock.
Yeah.
Just the stopwatch sitting there. And there are times where I'm like, 3 minutes, should I get out? No. And there's like this mental war.
Yeah.
It's like 4 minutes, and then I'll get to 4. I'm like, you can go to 5.
Oh, it's like
Keep going.
What's that book? The Power of One More.
Yeah,
Like,
Ed Milet.
Yeah. It's true. It's like, and I mean, yeah, it's hard to stop. But is there like a point where there's? I'm just gonna ask you biohacking questions now because we went there. But
Yeah.
is there a point where it's just like diminishing returns? Like it's just like
Yeah. Yeah, from what I've heard, I
Yeah.
mean, well, your liver releases a ridiculous amount of cold shock proteins from it. There's an unlimited supply, but to get the benefits, I think you only need 3 minutes 3 times a week under 50 degrees. You don't have to go that extreme.
Yeah.
There might be. Well, I think you burn more calories, right? Because the colder you are for longer, the harder
your body has to
your
heat
body
it up.
has to, so it's a thermic effect, you know.
Are you doing any others? I feel like biohacking this year has gotten so popular. Like,
I've been
why?
deep in this for a decade.
Oh, so you're like not new to it. Why do you think it just got freaking popular this year? Obviously, like I think Grant Cardone and his
because
10X
he bought
Health.
Gary Brecka's company.
You think
turned
that's
it
the
into
reason?
10X Health. Yeah, it's part of it, but there's so many people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it started with food.
Yeah.
You know, like organic and the glyphosate and all the
Yeah.
crap in our food. That's the industry I came from. So I was meeting all these biohackers and all the health and wellness people for 10 years. They were our partners, you know. So I saw everything. But yeah, it's definitely become more mainstream. You can see alcohol consumption's down a lot. People are really just getting used to. I mean, but the biggest thing is like that plastic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because plastic, the BPAs and phthalates have major implications on your hormones.
Yeah.
Because
so like there's like microplastics that like kind of
microplastics essentially when you're consuming microplastics, it's BPA, it's bisphenol A, it's synthetic estrogen. So we're all basically microdosing estrogen constantly.
Wow.
If you don't have a water system on your house, you're microdosing estrogen, birth control pills, antibiotics, like all the crap that gets in the water. We only have one water supply.
Yeah.
Right? So taking some basic steps, filter your water. You know, insurance doesn't cover any of this stuff, but you got to go see a hormone specialist, see these biohacking doctors. I can give you some great referrals for this. And, you know, find out where you are. You might not have, your testosterone might not be destroyed like mine was.
Yeah.
Mine was destroyed.
Really?
My levels when I got tested were like a 65-year-old man. I'm 36.
Yeah. So, do you go to a specific clinic? Because we had I'm having the owner of Modern Wellness Clinic on next week. Sorry. His name's like Rob, and he's like we might do like he wants to do all my levels and then read them live on the podcast. And I'm like, fuck, what if I have like the testosterone of a bitch?
Well, you probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's environmental toxic load, right?
Yeah.
I think what's worse is to be ignorant walking around and not realizing that you're not at your full capacity.
Yeah.
I mean, for years. And that's why I think motivation and discipline and all this stuff is so celebrated, is because when you don't have your natural hormones where they should be and your testosterone levels are low, you are suffering from motivation 24/7. You have no natural drive.
Yeah.
Fix that.
Yeah. And then
you won't need to watch Ed Milet reels. You'll just want to go work.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking this for the last few months, and I've been wanting to go get tested. I was trying to get the military to do it because I'm 100% disabled, so I was trying to get, but they're not gonna do it. Like you said, I thought it would be covered, but I'm just gonna go do it with Rob. And he's like, dude looks like he's in his like 20s, and dude's like 40 something. I was like, dude, how? Like
peptides. Did he tell you about peptides?
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. Yeah.
Life changing.
God, and he says it's not
I'm
even
on all
that
kinds
expensive.
of peptides.
It's like what, a few $100 a month is what he was telling me.
Yeah, for like $300 a month, you can. Everybody's gonna have different issues, right? For me, it's $300 a month.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff's optional, like the GHK that I'm taking, that peptide. It just makes you look younger. It makes your skin. It's like Botox without Botox.
Yeah.
Like for dudes, you know.
But is there like do you need like a doctor to prescribe this shit? Or do you just go? So there's a doctor in their clinic, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I'm
doing it through what's called troches, right? So
Okay.
the doctor prescribes the troches. It comes in the mail. I do this all on Zoom, right?
Okay.
All on
Wow.
Zoom. My dude's down in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just ships in the mail in a refrigerated pack. You keep it in the fridge, and you take these little squares. You just let them dissolve in your mouth. I'm doing tesamorelin, which brings your IGF levels up, which literally just melts fat off your body. Like I'm telling you, you can work out as much as you want, and I can work out half as much as you, and I'm gonna get 10 times the results because all my levels are just totally optimized.
Do you remember when you started that versus right before, like actually feeling different?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck,
Night
I need
and
to
day.
do this.
Yeah, I could show you before pictures, like
Yeah.
during the pandemic, when I didn't know I had low T and I did 75 hard, and I was doing in-body scans, right?
Yeah.
I got down to 9% body fat and I weighed 160 pounds.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, right now, about probably 10 to 12% body fat at 195.
Because I just remember, and maybe this is like a dumb thing, but I played Division I college rugby, and I was like just naturally could get in shape. And then for whatever reason, right when I fucking left the like college and I went to the military, it was harder for me to stay in shape in the military than it was in college. And I was like, in the military, I feel like I was more active. I was like jumping out of shit. I was fucking doing all this stuff. And then I just like started getting pudgy, and I was like, fuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can do all this biohacking stuff, but nothing matters if you don't keep your diet together.
Yeah.
Like I count on my macros.
Yeah.
Meal prepping everything at home. Sure, we go out to dinner once or twice a week
Yeah.
on the weekends, but I mean Monday through Friday, I am a strict everything.
I guess that makes sense though, because it's like, so maybe I don't know if I like did some. I don't think it's permanent damage, but I'll give you like a long story short. Was I think I told you I'm supposed to be in the military until October of 2025.
Yeah.
I cut my contract in half, and the way that because I started making money online, I was like, I don't want to fucking be in the military. How do I get out? I talked to my leadership, and I was like, yo, look, like I showed them my statements. I was like, I'm making money. I swear, I don't want to be in the military. Like, show me how to get out. Long story short is I got fat on purpose to get kicked out, and I got honorable discharge. But with that, I actually hurt my knee, hurt my back because I was like overweight, and fucking they had me still rucking 100-pound racks, like fucking up the mountain and shit. I got hurt, and then that actually expedited the process. But I still got out honorable discharge. I got all my benefits because I was always a good soldier. I just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up gaining like 35 or 40 pounds in 2 months. Like it was really bad. And then I got out and then I lost most of it. Like I was up to like 250 at one point, and now I'm like 210 right now, 2-ish. But it was bad. I don't know. Like, if you go through a cycle of that, do you think that could have permanent damage on your body? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's
Yeah.
all an evolution of just how bad. I mean, I played hockey
Yeah.
all the way through college. And
Yeah.
there's permanent injuries,
Yeah.
But again, back to peptides, like I had this elbow issue that wouldn't go away for months. My doctor gave me BPC 157 peptide. 2-3 weeks into that, pain gone. He's like, "Oh, this is going to accelerate the healing. It's going to go." Like it's just.
How do
the
you
science
take
is
peptides? Is it like a
troches? So they just dissolve in your mouth.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So nothing is a needle?
You can do it that way. That's a traditional way,
Oh.
but now they have troches, right?
Wow. So
Yeah.
you don't even have to. Okay. Okay,
No needles
I gotta go do
involved.
this. I gotta go do this.
It's,
Okay.
It's just life changing. I
Yeah.
mean, it's if you're struggling with injuries, go see
Yeah.
one of these doctors. I mean, the technology's there. Why would you not use it?
Yeah. Because one of the things.
People think they're like, oh, it's steroids. It's not steroids.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, I know that. Yeah, I do hear that argument. Because I mean, I still have a lot of neck issues. I broke my C6 and C7, like downhill mountain biking back in college, and I'm still like feeling pain there. And I'm just like, and the chiropractors can't fix it. Nobody can fix it. I'm just like, I try not to like lean forward a lot. You know how like fucking all the people nowadays are down at their phone.
Yeah.
I bring my phone up because I like consciously it starts
better
to
angle
hurt.
anyways.
Yeah, I bring my phone up because I'm like, fuck, it starts to hurt. But I'm like, I feel like I really, this is like reassuring that I need to go do that because like it's been on my to-do list, especially having Rob on next week. You should go there. I think you should go. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Good guy to go. No, in Vegas, he's like all about that shit. It's fucking. I don't understand. How old are you?
36.
Okay, you. I would say like you look about like late 20s with all that stuff
Think
you
so?
got going on. Yeah.
That's nice of you.
I don't know. How old do you think I look?
I don't know.
I feel
I
like
don't answer these types of questions.
You don't answer these? Why?
I'm gonna say low 30s.
I'm 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to start looking 24. But yeah, man. I mean, what else are we gonna get into? I'm just like it's always kind of hard shooting from the hip with somebody I don't know. But I mean, are you cool talking about like, the last podcast was like it kind of took a turn into like masculinity type shit. Like,
I'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
We can talk about the deals. We can talk about whatever.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about? I feel like this year's kind of been like the male movement has been happening. Like everybody's trying to like, you know, help men, right? Like right now with like, yeah.
Glad to see it, honestly.
Yeah. But do you like, would you say that a lot of these people who are speaking up right now, it's thoughts that you've had that you just hadn't vocalized? Because I felt that way. It's like, I feel like we think things that we don't always want to say because we're going to offend somebody because it's fucking 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's offend some people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, what's offensive about saying it's very difficult to be a man?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? It's hard.
Yeah.
The expectations are here.
Yep.
You know? I mean, why do you think most suicide is in men?
Yeah. Yeah. It's especially coming from like the military stuff when I was in, it's like, I don't know if I want to go there, but yeah,
it's on you. It's on you to provide. It's on you to be in shape. It's on you to everything. If something breaks down in the household, it's on you. The pressure. Yeah. You know, the clout stuff. Like, you got to drive this. You got to have that.
Yeah. Keeping up with the Joneses is like tough.
and most of us are not built for it.
No. Yeah.
So you got to deal with that. Yeah. Be emasculated by the numbers.
Yep.
And you've seen all the studies. It's like the amount of men that swipe right versus women that swipe right.
Oh, dude.
It's like 1% of men are taking all women because their expectations are here. Yeah.
I mean, I remember like at one point we took one of my friend's phones and we started swiping on her phone. Every single swipe was a match. Versus you go on any dudes and it's not. But then it's like you're getting all these street interviews now with like people are interviewing girls and they're like, he needs to make at least $500,000 a year. He needs to fucking be
6 feet
70 feet, 7 feet tall. I'm like, dude, like that's like 0.00001% of men. Exactly. And then they're starting to wonder why they're fucking alone. And I'm like, all right, well, and then they're all fucking think they're 10s, dude. Like I'm a 10 in my book, and I'm like, dude, like get it fucking together. I don't get that shit.
I wonder, because I just don't know. I mean, I'm old enough that we didn't have social media and all that when I was single. Yeah. I mean, it was out there, but like Facebook when I was in college was the first one. Yeah. Well, I guess we had MySpace, but it's just not what it is today. I don't know if it was the same.
I don't think so. I think nowadays, especially because of the video format, it's like more. I don't even know if the word's personal, but like it's more connected. I think before it's like, what did you do with MySpace? Oh, you're on my top 8 friends, like whatever the fuck it was. Like, but there was no like connection. I mean, you could message people, but like there was no posting to your timeline that people will see organically, and then
I think in general, social media technology accelerates everything. Like if you were going to be good at something, you're going to be that much better. Yeah. And if you're going to be a victim, you're going to be that much far left behind. That's just the nature of progress.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like you said, you'll be that much better because you're able to take advantage of the platforms and like actually be able to use them to benefit you. Yeah. And a lot of people can't. They'll use it as a crutch, and they will. I mean, you seen like it's so scary to like. I mean, I did it. I did like it sounds cliche, but like it was the dopamine cleanse they've been calling it. Yeah. I deleted all my social media for like a week, and I was like, whoa, like you actually feel like you get so much time back. Because have you ever looked at your screen time?
Oh yeah, it's awful.
It's awful. It's terrible.
But it's a lot of productive time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm straight working on the phone.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can amplify your work, but like if you're not, because I mean, before with the e-com stuff, I wasn't working on Instagram really. It was just, and my screen time would be like 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm like, that's a lot. That's like a part-time job that I'm spending on fucking social media watching other people. And that's where I started. What I started doing now is I have 2 phones. One's for social media where I post and stuff. And then the one that I carry around like day to day doesn't have anything on it. Yeah. And it's helped me. And I don't know if that's for everybody, but especially now that I'm in the media space, like I have to be posting. And I think a quote that I read was 1% of people actually post versus 99% of people are consuming, which is like very accurate because you feel like when you're new to social media, you always feel like, oh, I don't want to post every day. It's going to like be too much. And I'm like, no, dude, like there's like you're 1% of people if you're posting. Yeah. Like, I mean, I was guilty of it. I was just consuming so much.
You know what I've learned this year though?
What?
I think there's one thing I've learned. It's just all this shit's just not that serious. What's my screen time? I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like what all these things I'm so concerned. How much money am I going to make this year, next year? Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's just be and let the results be what they are.
Yeah.
Because we're putting so much pressure on everything. It's like I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Hormozy reel that was like, if you miss your biohacking routine this morning, like you'll be okay. You know? It's like there are some days now where I'm like, you know what? If I don't cold plunge, the world will continue. It's like, we'll be all right.
Hormozy also posted it was America was built on the backs of guys that smoke cigarettes every day. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It is true. It's funny. What you just said is like just be the. Like an hour ago, I just had on Sean Puchowski. He's like a hard money lender here in town, but we ended up talking about like surrendering to time.
Yeah.
Because he's like that was the most powerful thing that he learned this year. He was like, I was always like stressed out about like how do I keep progressing, and I was missing time with my kids and this and that. And he's like, and that was like my thing that I want to be able to do in this next year is like be okay with surrendering to time. Because I got two boys. I got a 3-year-old and like a 6-month-old. And I'm like, all right. Like there's days where I fucking leave when they're asleep and I get home and they're fucking asleep. Yeah. Because I'm like, fuck, I missed a day. You know, so I'm like, I need to be okay with surrender. What you said, just surrendering to the time and just existing and keep progressing, but don't don't knock yourself if you're not going as fast as you want.
Yeah, and I think going through a big hard correction and a loss, like what you went through, what I went through with one of our funds this year, I think you don't have a choice in those moments because progress isn't possible. Yeah. Like now you just got knocked halfway down the mountain. Yeah. It's like I can be upset about that. All those goals, all those things I was trying so hard for. Now it's like I can just sit back and, you know, I'll get back there. I have faith in that, you know.
It's not even like if like you'll get back there. It's just like I think it's and as people get older, they tell me this, and some of my like older mentors are like, it's just time becomes more valuable, and like in my head, I lost a year.
I wish I had been more content with the progress and where I was, because when you lose it, you're gonna have to rebuild those moments again. Yeah, it's like now I'm not even where I was, and I wasn't even happy there. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, right. Like at what point?
I think I struggle with that then, because it's like I wouldn't say I'm not. No, yeah, I'm gonna say I'll own it. I don't think I'm content with where I'm at. I want to be, but it's like I think it's what we said earlier. Is like it's this. Maybe it's social media, but like I think I also struggle with comparing myself to other people who are my same age. I'm like, he's fucking way ahead of me. And I'm like, fuck, you know, like, it's like he's eating off my plate.
I just have no more. Yeah. Like the comparison, the hunt for the next level. Yeah. It's completely just washed out of me.
How did you do that? Because I'm trying to get to that.
By thinking that getting my cash flow over $100,000 a month was gonna solve all these problems, but then it's like before you ever made $10,000 a month, you felt the same way. Yeah. And then you hit all these levels, and it's the next level, and you think it's never going to end, and then you're knocked on your ass down, and you lose it, and then you're back to this place of like, okay, I have to rebuild it, and you're like, you know what? Like the $3 million house or the $500,000 condo, like, yeah, I'm sleeping in the same bed. Yeah, I got the same coffee maker that I love. Yeah, you know, it's like, why? I'm not going to get this right, but it was like, you know, get a fishing rod, get a fish, hire someone to get a couple rods, get a bunch of fish, and then, you know, get the facility also that you can go, you know, be retired and then just go fish again.
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Right. So now I'm not saying that I'm giving up, that I don't want to create big things, that I don't care about progress, is that I'm just less a slave to where I end up. Yeah. And I'm more so of like, if I don't want to work this weekend, I mean, I used to go on 100, 200 day work benders. Yeah. 0 days off because I was such a slave to progress. It's not a happy life. It's not.
But so playing devil's advocate, like I feel like I hear it all the time. It's like your 20s. I was like, my 20s are almost over. I need to fucking go. Yeah. And like right now I'm doing that. I'm like fucking like not exaggerating. First one here in the mornings normally and last one to leave. Yeah. And I'm the guy that just showed up.
But there will be periods of time in your life where that's required. Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to want to be in that. If that's where you're at right now, lean into it. Yeah. I spent a decade plus doing that. Yeah. And now I'm at a place now where it's just, I need a little time to just let things play out. And I'm just not not a slave to how fast it's going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
That's more what I'm trying to say.
That's where I'm trying to get to. And maybe it's dumb because like I think the goalpost always moves down as you get to it. But like my numbers, like because I turn 29 next month, I'm like, okay, when I turn 30, I'll ease off a little bit. But I don't know if I will. But that's my thing is like this next year, I'm looking at it as like gonna have to take a lot of sacrifices this next year because I got to rebuild to what I lost. So it's like, whatever, So
phases. That is it though. It's phases.
Yeah, phases and seasons, and just understand. I think it's being self-aware enough to understand the phase or season you're in. Because sometimes it's like if you do just somebody. I heard it is like you're a human doing, not a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just doing and you're never actually just being and enjoying, not plunging today or enjoying just your nice cup of coffee, whatever.
You got to be okay with the process.
Yeah.
Like I can legitimately say, waking up right now, rebuilding, I am genuinely happier every day right now than I was when I was on the top of that mountain pushing for the next level because my perspective was off. Yeah. I was still like, I got to get 100 million like by this age. Like all the perspectives were wrong, right?
Yeah.
The chasing's gone now. Now it's like I can still work my ass off all day, but be okay with where I am in the process. That's a big step, I think, is when you're not living in the future anymore.
What was there like a pivotal moment or like a something that triggered that? You're like, well, I need to be okay with what you just said.
I mean, I didn't appreciate how great things were going for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? How can you have, no business setbacks? I'd been investing everything. LP on 1,600 units of real estate. Like I'm crushing it in my mind, but totally not satisfied or proud of myself or any of these things, right? And then in one month of time, my little brother gets cancer. I lose over $100,000 a month of income. My dog dies that I've had for 10 years. Yeah. And it all happens at the same time. When I just moved to Vegas into my beautiful house with the view, everything I thought I wanted no longer mattered, right?
Yeah.
It was like, I want to give it away.
Yeah.
If I can get this back or this not happen to my brother. Or like, you got to have some bad shit happen to you to really get perspective in life, I think.
Damn. You're this whole week, it's like been a lot of like people that I'm meeting, they've experienced cancer in their immediate family, and knock on wood, I haven't. And it's scary. It's like one of my best friends, his name's Sean Bob, his little 3-year-old daughter just got diagnosed.
Yeah.
And it was like seeing him go, she actually just finished chemo and she's good now, which we're super grateful for. But seeing him go through that, because I was there from the beginning to the end, I was like, and he didn't fucking make one excuse, kept working, had to fucking still provide. And like that, I admire. And it's like, shit's fucking rough. Like,
that's why I just think you go through stuff like that. And I think if you haven't, especially if you come from a lot of money, if you come from all these great situations and you haven't had to face adversity in your life, it's going to be hard to enjoy a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, every day now that I get to make that organic, fresh brew coffee at home, it's just different.
Yeah.
I appreciate the shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm still on the Keurig. Just push the button. Man, dude, I think I got like, it's funny. Like I've wanted to have this conversation because of me hearing you talk last time. And I knew that a lot of the stuff I was going to be able to apply. I kind of selfishly use these podcasts, and I'll tell you now that we're done talking or like almost done, is I kind of use them like selfishly as like a little mentorship thing. Like I just ask the questions that I need to know, and then I'm like,
bro, it's therapy too. I love it.
And it's like, and it's been so good because like everybody wants to be on a fucking podcast for some reason, regardless of how many views. Because right now everybody just wants the clips. Like nobody, like I would say like a year or 2 years ago, if your podcast didn't get a lot of views, like organic, like the full thing, you didn't get a lot of guests. But now everybody wants the clips, so it's easier to get like cool guests like yourself like on because they just want the clips or the content. And I selfishly use it as like a fucking this is who I am. Like teach me shit.
Yeah,
and it worked, so it's good. It's good stuff. But yeah, man, you want anything else before we close off?
No, man, it's good to be here. I'm glad to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Meeting great people like you.
Cool.
Let's do it again.
Sounds good. Thanks for watching Winners Only. Catch you guys on the next one.